Well, there's 90 minutes of my life that I will never see again. An absolute disgrace. 90 minutes of football, and we looked like we were the away team. In fact, we looked like the team that was rock bottom of the table. Because let's face it, we had no real clear cut opportunities. Yes, we might have, 5 or 10 shots on goal or whatever, or 10 shots altogether. I don't know the stats, but all in all, it looked like Norwich came here to get 3 points, and they were very unlucky not to. Thanks to M Dub, aka Dubravka, saving us once again. Pookie missing opportunities. Again, at the start of the season, he was banging them in left, right, and centre. We should know. You know what I mean? We owed him one, and that is 2 points dropped for sure. Looking at the lineup again, Dubravka obviously in goal. Yedlin, let me start this again. This guy, he's got all the attributes to be a quality winger. Well, the main attributes being pace. Pace, young, and he gets into the right positions. You know, he was getting into the right positions. I'm sure I counted at least 5 crosses, and only one actually came off the ground and towards someone. And that's not good enough. And rightfully so, he was hauled off early into the second half. That's the one good credit that I've got to give to Steve Bruce today, is that he made the changes early. Not like Mr. Benitez would and leave it to the 70th minute. He subbed him off at 54, and Longstaff came on quite shortly after at 57, but I'll get onto that shortly. Fernandez, Lascelles, again, good at the back. Lascelles made one nearly enough costly mistake, which, nearly led to a goal. Thank God it didn't. Fernandez, again, with that last-ditch tackle. And Kieran Clark, as always, solid as ever. I think that is the back line going forward, although Lejeune was unlucky not to come on, because we all know he's a threat actually going forward as well as defending. Richie, I've got to say that as much as I would love to see him back in the team, he had a bit of a mare today. Obviously, it offers loads of work rate, but I was surprised that he didn't come off for Rose early into the second half. Almiron, again, I'm going to say the same as I said in, what was it? Was it the Rochdale game? I think it might have been the Rochdale game when Almiron and Saint-Maximin were both in a team, the first leg of it, if you like. When they're both in a team, Almiron can't shine. Almiron's too hesitant. It's not like it needs to be all eyes on him. It's not like he can share the limelight, and we need both of them to be sharing the limelight. It's clear who the dominant out of the two are in terms of going forward, and that tricky winger is, and that's Saint-Maximin. And I'm surprised he came off. He was the only bright spot that we really had going forward. I'm surprised he actually got hauled off. Hayden as well, solid as always. Good slide challenge as well. I'm surprised he was the one that was to come off, because I don't think Bentelev had much to do really. And truly now, I think we're just promising him minutes. That's the reason why he stayed on, if I'm honest. Saint-Maximin, as I mentioned before, the only bright spot I would say, and then Joe Linton. What else can be said? I mean, he runs about a lot. He's athletic, but I go back to something that Mick Lowe said on Newcastle Fans TV when they did an interview with him. We've got too many athletes that are not footballers, and not footballers that are not athletes. If you go through the team, I can give you some examples. Yedlin, good athlete, but is he a good footballer? It begs to be seen. Atsu's another one. He didn't come on. He nearly got sold or loaned out. He's another one. Joe Linton looks like an athlete, can run all day, but is he a footballer? Who knows? Or footballing brain, should I say? Saint-Maximin, again, it's touch and go. Sometimes you think it's something going to come off, but again, at least he's trying. At least there's trickery there. Anyway, getting into the game now. Norwich definitely dominated most of the game, and as I said before, they will probably feel hard done by not to leave with all 3 points. They've got 4 points off us this season, and with the team that's bottom of the table, that's a bit of a shambles, I must admit. Again, substitutes wise, we didn't have much to offer. Obviously, Lazaro came on. He didn't really offer too much. Didn't see any crosses from him, any trickery or anything like that. And then Rose got a 10 to 12 minute run out. Again, I think he's still a bit off the pace to be actually starting these games. But all in all, I just think this is disgraceful, man. Just like, we need to be beating teams like Norwich, because we've got big games coming up against Arsenal, Palace after the Oxford game. And these is where we need to get our 3-point bankers to get those, 4 wins to get to safety. And if we can't beat bottom of the table, then, boy, we're going to have to pull it out the bag against the big teams. So we're just putting ourselves up shit creek with no paddle, and we're just doing it to ourselves. As I said, with Bruce, credit to him for doing the early substitutions, but the Saint-Maximin one baffled me a bit because he was our only outlet, and with Richie not on form and Almiron, I don't know. I'm still kind of umming and ahhing about him. Yes, he had his little run, but again, when the two play together, they can't play together. It seems, and again, it just shows why what we're getting if we don't sign a striker. You know, barely any attempts on goal, barely any threats. I'm sure that's probably the easiest comeback to St James's Park that Tim Gross had. Grant Hanley was put under pressure, I would say, by Saint-Maximin the most, but not Joe Linton. And again, we're going to rue the day that we did not sign or try to bring her forward in. We're going to try and spend £40 million on another midfielder, but not put half of that towards a striker. If Jarrod Bowen goes and scores in the next West Ham game, then we might just be going to, well, we're just going to have to hold that L, because basically, if he scores in the next one, he's going to be joint in terms of Premier League goals with Joe Linton, and he's had half a season more than him to play. So anyway, that's my thoughts. Bit dejected on this one. 0-0, 90 minutes of football, and wow, I was absolutely bored off my rocker. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below if you agree. I think we're up to 10th in the table at the moment, mid-table, but to be honest, that's nothing to scream about, because that should have been a 3-point banker.